I started off a week plus ago identifying some very positive signs from the inflation point of view. One of which is that the inflations in the commodity prices are coming down fast and furious. I also discovered there's a huge buildup of inventory, and I also discovered that across the world, a lot of things prices are actually holding or coming down. That's a very good sign from a stock market perspective. And the second thing I want to say that I've told everybody was that there is actually experts, so not experts, news agencies like Wall Street Journal are now having their thoughts in line with mine, meaning that they also feel that actually this inflation is coming potentially, this hyper high inflation is potentially moderating down moving forward. Today, I'm going to add that a lot of the economists and experts are also resonating what I'm saying. Okay, so it's no longer now Mr. Lu blowing hot air by himself. Okay, if this hot air, a lot of experts are blowing with me, including one Nobel Prize winner for economics. So this is no longer Mr. Lu Hao Xiaoying. I'm feeling pretty proud that I'm ahead of a lot of others in predicting this movement. Now, all of us could be wrong, okay? That means collectively, obviously wrong. Good to see you, okay? All of us could be wrong, but, it requires a lot of very powerful brains out there to be collectively wrong. So all these have very strong stock market implications, which I think is very important for you to know. And this also gives me the confidence of my moves that I'm making right now. Okay, I've been making stock market moves. To date, I lost count. I think I might go in 400 over $1,000 right now. I think I'm going to cross $500,000 soon. Okay, it's my hope that by the end of this winter, so-called this stock market winter, I would have done $1 million inside. Okay, and then I can be less excited about the stock market. There will be a lot of questions, but the major question everybody is asking, Mr. Lu, is it time to go in the stock market? Okay, what if I catch a falling knife? Wouldn't the stock market go down further? Okay, I will just say this from my opinion and what I read of the signals from the experts. I think this winter might be getting warm soon. Okay, so the last inflation report from the U.S. government was for the month of May, where it hit a high of, I think, 8.6%. It was very, very high, very, very high. And as a result, the Federal Reserve in US actually whacked a 0.75% interest rate increase. Sorry, I got distracted by this. Andy said that Mr. Lu looks leaner in a portrait shot. Okay, I actually feel a bit more baba nowadays, but anyway, that's a total distraction. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back to this one. Andy, don't distract me on the juicy topic. Okay, I am a very gossipy person. Okay, so question right now is what is going to happen in the June inflation CPI report. The June inflation report, the key date you better write now this date. Okay, is 13th of July. So July will report the June numbers. August will report the July numbers, right? So the results are 1 month late. You understand that, right? So very important to take note is that the inflation numbers for June will come out on mid of July, around the 13th of July. 13th of July will be 14th of July in Singapore. Okay. So the question right now is, what will it be? Okay, if the inflation start coming down to maybe 8% or 7.5, I tell you the freaking stock market is going to rally. Okay, it's going to rally like crazy. But so what is it going to be, right? I read a lot of reports, and people say basically they expect another hot inflation report. The inflation report is still going to be very high in the month of June. Okay, as a result, the stock market is still going to be very volatile. Okay, but June, interestingly, is the month. Okay, hey, hello, YouTube, you know the drill. Okay, 141 of you are inside. Please, everybody give a like. That's very important for me. Okay, everybody give a like. We'll push out to as many people as possible. June is the month where the commodity prices started to crash. oil, copper, corn, soybean, wheat, and so many things, right? All the commodity prices start to crash. And as they crash, guess what happened? Okay, it will slowly trickle down to the consumer side. So this on the wholesale side, it start crashing, and then it will spill over the consumer side. But in the month of June, may not be enough time for that effect to trickle down. So therefore, we may still see a fairly high CPI in the month of June. Okay, but the signals are very clear right now that in the month of end June, maybe by the whole month of July, we should see another pressure coming down. So the question really is, would the inflation for the month of June, okay, be enough to catch, all these commodity price decline, okay? The Nobel Prize laureate Paul Crewman actually said that he don't expect the inflation number in June to catch the declining price expectations, okay? So he said it will still go a long way in catching this price decline. So that trickle down price decline, and I think that's very important for us to take note of. The interesting thing is this, okay? The interesting thing is this. It used to be just Mr. Lu, the lone voice in the desert, calling out, I think prices are going to come down, therefore interest rate, okay, will be expected to come down in future, therefore stock market is going to rise, okay? In 1970s, when the price start to fall, okay, when after a few months, because you need to understand, that was 1982. The inflation lasted 10 years. So in the year 1982, when they first identified that the price decline is now a clear and strong sign and is there to stay, the stock market rallied, and it rallied all the way from 1982 all the way to 1987. It was a very, very, very powerful increase. And that's very important for us to take note of. So therefore, I want to be at the position to catch it, okay, before the price decline happens. And I think that's something I wanted to do, okay? I'm taking a little bit more risk than most people. Most people want to see the price decline visibly first, then, I mean, not price decline, the inflation decline visibly first before you take a move. I want to anticipate that happen. So I'm taking a lot more risk from that perspective. But you know what? Risk comes with some reward, right? So now I'm not the only one taking this position. Now altogether, there's an article. That says that 5 of them. Let's look at what these 5 says. Okay, anybody recognize this person? It's quite a handsome guy. Okay. This is Dr. Michael Burry. Dr. Michael Burry is one of the person who managed to catch the 2008 financial stock market crash before it happened, and he made a hell of money out of it. He's a little bit unusual. He has this thing called Asperger syndrome. Is it Asperger syndrome? I think a little bit mildly autistic, but he's a brilliant man. I've listened to some of his talks before, and he was really brilliant. The only problem with Michael Burry is that he's a super pessimist. Everything is crashing. He keeps saying this thing crash, and for sure one day everything will crash. Something will crash, right? So, but nevertheless, this time around, he's not talking about a crash, which is very unusual, okay? He's talking about the reverse right now. That's very unusual for Michael Burry to say. Now then, Cathy Wood, which is one of the most famous lady fund manager, very, 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 very famous one. She has this fund called Up Investing, and it's one of the big one, okay? And the next one is Paul Crewman, which is a Nobel laureate. I'll actually go inside. So basically, all of them are saying this. All of them are saying this. They're all saying that they aren't stressing about inflation anymore. Okay, why these 5 elite market watchers? They are classified as elite market watchers. Expect prices to rise slower or even fall. That's powerful news, right? That's resonating with what I've been saying for the last 1.5 weeks. Okay, so I don't expect anybody to I don't expect everybody to agree what they say, but this is let me just share with you guys what they say. Okay, let's talk about the first one first, which is Paul Crewman. Paul Crewman was a Nobel Prize winner for economics. It's very, very famous in the world of economics. It's like it's like some famous singer, let's say Chinese actress Yang Mi, or Huang Xiaoming, that kind of thing in China, Singapore nowadays not much famous actor actresses, okay, but those days have Zoe Tay, Fan Wong, and all this, right? It is that kind of league in the economics world. Paul Krugman, very, very famous, okay? He's a Nobel Prize laureate. He issued a similar economic outlook that's similar to what I said, okay? He actually said that fears of runaway inflation are hugely overblown, right? Really overblown, and dismisses the risk of stagflation, okay? Dismisses the risk of stagflation. Let me say what he says. Not sure people realize how dramatic the runaway inflation narrative has now collapsed. Okay, not really is really overhouseholded. Okay, if you in Singlish. And he actually cited some other investors and said that the out of control inflation and unanchored inflation expectation are really way too much. Crewman added that the upcoming inflation data for June may not show expectation the expectation is decline, but anyway, more likely moving forward. Okay, so basically, if you read the whole article that Paul Crewman said, he basically say that he thinks that this thing is over house-held. Okay, Michael Burry, the other guy, and he's a bit weird. This Michael Burry is a bit weird. He's he has no capacity to feel a few things, but the interesting thing is that because he has is mildly autistic, some of the element of fear that usually hit people doesn't hit him. So he can be very. Remember, I told you what's the best kind of investors? The best kind of investors are people with no feeling. I think he's one of them. No feeling. And as a result, he's very. Have you watched the show The Big Short? It was all talking about him. Just amazing man, amazing man. And as a result, his genetic makeup was suitable for this. He's truly called emotionless. The DNA is right for it. Okay, I'm very far from him. I'm nowhere close to him. Michael Burry expects American consumer to virtually exhaust their savings by end of the year. Okay, as they continue to save less and borrow more to cover higher food, fuel, and housing costs. He predicts that consumer spending will decline as a result, okay, while retailers will slash price to get rid of their bloated inventory, slowing down inflation in coming months. Okay, this is now Michael Burry, the big shot guy, talking, Mr. Lu. Some of you say Mr. Lu is house sell. Okay, I may house sell, is true. Okay, I'm a joker and all this. This guy doesn't know how to joke. His DNA doesn't know how to joke. He said that himself in the show. If you watch The Big Shot, he's not capable of joking. He's not joking. Okay. Now, whether you believe it or not, there's other thing, but he's definitely not joking. Okay. Cathy Wood, this Aceh of the Wall Street, very famous. Make a hell of money now, lost a hell of money. But anyway, it doesn't matter. She's viewed as one of the powerful lady investor in Wall Street. Okay. And as a result, I wanted to share with you this, okay? It says this, Cathy Wood says that elite retailers such as Walmart and Target, which are two big super giant retailers it's like an NTUC fair price in US, okay, are struggling to get rid of excess inventory, raising the prospect of widespread price cuts and deflation in coming months, right? So it is very interesting to see what Cathy Wood is saying, and she added that consumer sentiment has plunged, okay, to record low because Americans are bristling at painful inflation. He suggested that this trend could also pull down prices. That's good news, right? Inflation now is going to be checked, okay? Yes. So therefore, this one, another strong data point. Let's look at this. Jeremy Siegel. Jeremy Siegel is also another economist. I think in my university time, I have a textbook by Siegel himself. The university, he comes from Wharton University. Wharton, if you all don't know, is like in the business school world, it's like Stanford, Harvard, that kind of league. He comes from Wharton in a school called Wharton School in University of Pennsylvania. Okay, very famous professor. He says that he noted that prices of commodities and housing have dropped in recent weeks, suggesting that inflation is waning. See, exactly what I said, right? Well, I feel like going back to school and say, hey, Professor Siegel, me also said, but I also said this, can you please co-author this together? But I mean, I'll be one ask you there. But he suggests that it will take time for slow inflation to be reflected in the official data. That means that whatever we see, all this signal, when it finally translates to CPI, it will take some time. But it's okay, right? As long as now I'm more confident. Last time is what you call, I see myself. No one else actually saw this, I see myself in the whole of YouTube. I haven't seen a single person resonating with what I said. Now I see more and more of these experts saying what I say. I think it will become mainstream soon. When I first saw, that the word stagflation, I was still ahead of other people. And then later, everybody will talk about stagflation and things like that, Sometimes when I'm too ahead, I get a bit scared, whether I predicted a bit too early, okay? I'm not trying to say I'm smart, It's just that sometimes when you're ahead of time, it's something that you tend to be crying wolf and nobody believes you. So Professor Jeremy Siegel actually also said exactly what I said. Okay. Last was Tom Lee. Tom Lee was a former chief equity strategist of Morgan Stanley, right? So now he's a research boss of this Fund Strat global advisor, but he's very famous. He always you hear his interview on YouTube in the US world. So Tom Lee also suggested that, you look at next slide. He says that the recent decline in oil, lumber, cotton, copper. Actually, I didn't know that cotton and lumber also went down. He noted these declines, and he said that he also noted a jump in mortgage rates has pushed down house prices, and a glut of retail inventory has led to large discount for apparel, appliances, and other goods. Okay, so he actually thinks that this inflation is indeed transitory. So altogether now is no longer Mr. Lu, blowing hot air or looking like he's blowing hot air in telling everybody that the inflation is going to come down, right? We spotted all these signals for the whole of last 2 weeks. Now, these signals are also now being resonated very strongly, by all these experts. These are experts that make Mr. look like nothing, These are real top-notch industry leaders, I don't think there's any economist in Singapore or business leader in Singapore that are their league. So I feel very comforted that my views are now in line with them. So with that, I deserve some likes, right? Come on now, give me some likes, why so meow? Again, YouTube very meow. 244 of you are only yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So B, can you give me some water, please? Yes, beside my bed, this one. Yeah, thank you. Cool. All right, good. Thank you. So I hope that you guys just give me a bottle. Yeah, I hope you guys are convinced. You guys are convinced what I said. Thank you. Thank you. Wait, let me get some water. Now, thank you. Thanks for all the likes. I really need that and appreciate that. So the key right now is this. What we fear is so the question right now is this thing going to come to an end, or this thing going to go on like 1970s to 1980s? What we don't want to see, is what I call a half pregnant approach by the Federal Reserve and the various central banks. If they do what I call a half pregnant approach, so you know what's half pregnant? How pregnant is this? They raise the interest rate a little bit and they quickly pull back. Raise a little bit and pull back. Then inflation goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I see the whole see, Yeah, that's how it should be, On a see, the kind of thing, right? Give it that, Don't just step one step, Step until the whole inflation get killed. That's what we need to see from the Fed. Now, is the Federal Reserve going to do that, right? So what we don't, I tell you a joke, what is called half date. This one is a military joke. So last time in army, no, we're not seeing tonight. Okay, so last time in army, we have this lesson called living off the land, which basically means, this. Okay, we get snakes, iguanas, and all this, and then we actually have one iguana. Okay, and so every platoon have one iguana, and we're supposed to cut off the head. Someone will be appointed to cut off the head, and then we're supposed to tear the skin and cook it, that kind of thing, and then we're supposed to eat it. So of course, in the army, got people who are heartless like me, which I don't have an issue killing an iguana, but there's a bit of tak cek kia, or this ma pao, mama boy, ma pao, don't dare kill anything one. So the instructor look at it, say, okay, Tanakao, come here. No, it's usually quite nice, some nice name, very educated me. This guy with spectacles, a bit short, come here, and say, oh, you chopped off the head of the iguana. Okay, the monitor lizard. The monitor lizard all tired out. Then the person took a parang, monitor lizard skin very tough, right? Just nothing's happened. Hit harder. Wow. Then the instructor shouted, screamed, slap his helmet and all this. The guy, Walao, the parang went halfway into the neck. Wow, the iguana, overseas, either kill it all the way, don't kill. Then this now struggles of blood flying all over. It's gonna spill by blood. All this, say chalat. Wow, the instructor see that, push the guy aside, took one knife, chop the whole head. My point is this, okay? When you fight inflation, you cannot be like that. Then blood fly over, please, and all got spill by blood, all this kind of thing. That's even worse, understand? Yeah, it's very, okay. So when you fight inflation, I see, or you can see, 0.75, a few rounds, inflation 更强, That is what we want the Federal Reserve to do, okay? And is the Federal Reserve doing that, okay? Yes. Okay, so much for the story, Look at the Federal Reserve, what they're doing, okay? The Federal Reserve, interestingly, issued the minutes of the meeting in June, okay? The meeting in June, they exactly said, so the meeting in June, the minutes of meeting take 2 weeks to be published. And now it published, okay? Now they published a meeting. Then we found that, they went one round asking everybody to take a vote. How many percent increase? So imagine, right? So there are 11 members in the Federal Reserve, FOMC, Federal Reserve Open Market Committee, okay? The FOMC have 11 members, and the 11 members have to take a vote. So you guess how many people voted for 0.75% increase? How many people voted for 0.5? Okay, make a guess. Out 11, how many people voted for 0.75? That means, say that I want to see, like you chop the monitor lizard and the head, right? How many? Make a guess, okay? You're right. 10 people voted. How do you know? You read the minutes, is it? 10 people voted for 0.75, okay? Only one said 0.5. All of them are like me right now. I see the see, the kind of thing. Yeah, see, Never mind, hit the economy real hard, whatever. Just kill inflation once and for all. Because inflation comes, it's damn deadly and painful and it's silang. That's exactly what they're doing. Okay. So in the minutes of the meeting, they actually said this. Okay. that 10% voted for 0.75, one voted for 0.5, and the Federal Reserve minutes could bolster bets for 75 basis point increase in July. Okay, so the next Federal Reserve meeting, take note of this. Take note of this. The CPI report will come out when? On the 13th. Our time will be 14. Then the next Federal Reserve meeting will happen on the 26th of July or 27th of July. So in between about 2 weeks. So once the CPI comes out, everybody will start guessing what we're doing, what the Federal Reserve will do. But the Federal Reserve already announced what they'll do. Okay, more or less. Here already, we know they're going to whack 0.75. So the market already expected 0.75. I don't think they will increase by 1 full percent. So now it's either 0.75 or 0.5. If it goes to 0.5, the stock market rally. If it goes to 0.75, the stock market, whatever is happened, will continue to happen. So basically, they are all committed to killing the inflation. And this is not half pregnant. This is all the way, which is what we want to see. Okay. So I hope you guys are convinced where the direction is on the price and inflation and all this stock market implication. Okay. Now, some people ask me, Mr. Lu, you keep talking about inflation. What about recession? Should we all be afraid? Okay. What about recession? Should we all be afraid? I want to take a poll. How many of you thinks that we'll be hitting a recession soon? Say yes. How many people think that no, will not be hitting a recession? Say no. Okay, I want to take a quick poll. How many of you think that recession will be hit soon? Okay. Okay, that's about 80% of you all think that. On YouTube, about 80% think that the recession will hit. Okay, on Facebook, probably 50-50. Okay, cool. So the Federal Reserve GDP tracker shows that the economy could be on the brink of a recession. What is the definition of recession? The definition of recession is 2 quarters of negative GDP, and in US already has 1 quarter of negative GDP already. So if the second quarter happens in a negative GDP, then we will officially be in a recession. Okay, so I'll answer your question later. I'll have Q&A time. Excuse me. So it's a gassy drink. So right now they are looking at the Federal Reserve tracker is now pointing towards a 0.9% gain. Okay, in the second quarter. So there could be a narrow miss of inflation. So, but definitely there is a significant slowdown right now. Okay, so actually recession is not frightening. It's not the recession frightening. Recession is only frightening for business owner like us, with a business slowdown. What is more frightening for a recession is massive layoffs, massive unemployment. Okay, that is what is scary. They don't want huge unemployment. What we are not, all governments are not afraid of recession, but all governments are afraid of what recession can bring, which is usually unemployment, right? So this is where the biggest fear of recession is massive unemployment. But you know what? This is a huge fear. Okay, it's a huge fear, and almost 80% of US workers fear losing their job in a recession. Who are not, right? Who are not? And this is from a survey of 1,000 workers. Okay, and many of them, I think, are quite insecure. But the thing about inflation is this. About recession is this. I want everybody to take note of. Right now, the job market is too red hot. It's too red hot. When the job market is too red hot, it causes inflation. Yeah, it's causing inflation. So we need an inflation to cool down the job market. A bit of slack. Your thing is, I kid you not now, we are business owners, okay? I can say that the job market is freaking on. I'll talk about it in a short while. But I'm not the only one that say this, okay? Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, and a lot of the US experts are saying this. I'm going to read some to you, okay? Jerome Powell said that, okay, we need the an aggressive plan to fight inflation is needed to drive up the ultra low unemployment rate. Basically says that it's overheated the job market. It is badly needed in some sense. It is badly needed in an overheated labor market full of imbalance. Powell said this. The labor market remains extremely tight. Okay, and I tell you, I'm not the he's not the one who sees. I see this. Many of my business owners all see this and things like that. Okay, and even in US right now, amidst of all this talk about inflation, recession, where big payroll gains push recession fears to the corner. Nobody is scared of recession. Yeah, it's very, very serious. How many of you are business leaders, corporate leaders that are hiring people? How many of you find that it's very difficult to hire people right now in Singapore? Okay, and by the way, this is the same because talents are global. How many of you are facing difficulty in hiring people? Say me. If you are a leader, a corporate leader, you're a director, you're a manager, or a VP, or whatever, you do hire people, right? It's very, very difficult to hire people right now. If you do face the same thing, just say me, okay? Yes. So, yeah, Annie said me, okay, Lena said me, Anwar said me, Ryan said me, yeah. I kid you not. It's that Jude said me, yeah, okay, Maggie said me, okay, Florence said me, Kiki said me. It's very hard people. That day, SS Digital CEO, SS Digital, I own the company, and the CEO asked me, please help me advertise and tell people to write in because they're trying to hire more digital salespeople because through his means cannot get. So okay, I say I usually talk to a few thousand people now and then. I should talk about it. So that day I publish a request for anybody who is interested in digital sales, and we pay quite well, by the way. Do you know how many people wrote in with their resume to me? I dedicated one slide, right? Okay. Last Friday, I advertised, and say that anybody interested to join my company, please write in to me, right? I don't know how many people saw that video. I think at least 20,000 people saw the video. I only have one applicant. One. O-N-E, one. Yes, only one applicant. Even in Indonesia, it's hard to hire, okay? Yeah, can you believe it? Okay, you believe it? So much about recessionary pressure. Yeah. Even if there's recession, the labor market will continue very tight. Very few people will lose a job. There's nothing to fear, okay? Yes. So only one person hired. One person applied for it, okay? Yes. I can assess digital. Take a look at my last talk. I have my slides there, okay? Yeah. So therefore we shouldn't be worried about a recession, okay? So as you can see, the most scary part about a overdrive in inflation is it causes a huge interest rate spike and crashes the economy, as well as causing massive unemployment. That's not going to happen. Okay? That's not going to happen. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. So even if it happens, it won't happen so fast. Okay, I don't think it's going to happen. So as you can see, it's very positive, right? Very positive. Yeah. Anybody can apply. Yes, just write into my email. Okay, I've given my SS Digital email there. So therefore, very interestingly, we have a situation where when right now, the recession slowdown, okay, is badly needed, okay, in fact required to cool down an overheated job market. So someone asked, many people ask, so Mr. Lu, can invest, cannot invest? Okay, I cannot tell you, right? But I see one big risk which I cannot quantify because I'm not that familiar with the market. Every time I talk about this, there's some smart aleck is going to tell me that Mr. Lu, you know shit about that market. That's called the crypto industry. That is a market I cannot put my finger to it because I really don't understand it. And I thought I'm the only one who don't understand it. The best part is a lot of people who I thought understand also don't understand. Okay, yeah. So it's one of those it's one of those things. Have you ever attended a class where everybody seems like they understand, and you don't dare ask a question? Eventually, you cannot tahan. You ask the question, then everybody, yeah, what's that? Then you realize, hey, everybody also don't know. Kind of sigh, right? Have you ever had that? Have you ever had that? Had that kind of experience? Okay, so therefore, the crypto world is like that as well. Okay, right now there's a crypto stock market crash. It's so bad. It's so bad that now many companies are crashing. So there's a crypto broker called Voyager Digital has just filed for Chapter 11. I think it's a listed company. You know, there are very few listed crypto companies. One of them, and this thing really has crashed big time. Okay. So I think there's some relationship between this company called Three Arrows Capital. I think it's a crypto hedge fund. I think they have actually lent money over to Voyager, and then right now because Voyager collapsed or the other way around, I can't remember. Now Three Arrows Capital is also now filing for Chapter 11, and the best part is Three Arrows Capital is based in Singapore. Okay. Remember, there's this thing called the Lunar Terror crash. This company, Lunar Terror, also based in Singapore. Okay, so really, you know, we do have a massive amount of crypto stock market crash right now. So some of the details are there. I won't go into it. But what is scary to me is that I didn't realize this: 1 in 6 Singapore adults own some crypto today. So that's quite and that's quite scary for me. Adoption is expected to rise in coming years. 80% of institutional investors expect crypto to replace some traditional asset. At home, our wealth funds, Temasek and GIC, have made some sizable investment in crypto and blockchain related firm. So what I'm not sure is that will they have contagion effect? So the crash in this one will spill over to the other side. This one a bit scary, you know. Okay, so I'm very concerned that there is this spillover effect that can happen, and as a result, then we have jalan. Okay, so barring this major one, which I cannot analyze because, to be frank, you know what's the problem with me is that I've got some mental block. I just cannot figure out how to analyze this market. I can see why it can be useful, but I do not analyze it. Because I cannot analyze, I avoid it. Okay, because I avoided it and I don't get myself deeply involved, I don't learn enough about it. So because I don't learn enough about it, when things happen there, I cannot analyze the spillover effect. So I have to start making phone calls to people who are involved in the market. And you know what? A lot of the so-called experts got burned very badly this time. So I can't tell I can't tell specifically how serious this is. So this time around, this is something I cannot put a handle on. I'm just watching this market a little bit more carefully. Okay. So yes, Louis also don't understand, right? Yeah. Now I don't know about you. I took a lot of effort to try to understand, and I still don't understand. Yeah, that's the worst part. It's like those, sometimes you have this allergy to a certain subject, right? And those subjects are quite tough to understand. Yes. Any singing tonight? Okay, I know it won't happen, so I can now say, hey, it hits 500, I'll sing for you guys. 500 likes. Okay, it's not gonna happen. Okay, but anyway, there's no harm talking blowing hot air. Okay, so just to let you know, last week I invested 50K. I expect this month soon I'll whack another 50K in. I'll try to space out. This month I'm really tempted to go in 150, but I think between 100 to 150 is are the shots I'm going to fire. I think my personal opinion, I still going to do this spacing out and spreading out. I thought is, turn off rotating. Yes, wrong. Okay, so I don't exactly know what happened. What rotating, right? So anyway, so I'm gonna be firing a few more shots in the near future, but just to let you know, not to be surprised. Whenever I fire, I will alert you guys either on Telegram or usually I'll alert on Telegram first, then on YouTube I will alert, then on Facebook when it comes. Okay, yes. So barring any unforeseen risk, I just want to conclude that I'm very positive on the outlook despite a climate of doom and gloom. Okay, I'm very positive about it. I'm very positive about it, and I think that in the long run, right, years to come, we will all be. I'll be a huge beneficiary of this. Okay, so I'm gonna go on doing what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what you should do. You're going to decide for yourself. But now I'm not the lone voice in the desert right now, crying that I see an oasis in the desert. Okay, now there are people also saying, and these are big people who are more brainy than I am. Cool. Someone asked, is your shots all in cash? Recently, yeah, they're all in cash. Okay. Yes. The reason why I fire in cash is because endowers, when I saw a sustained period of crash, I can invest in endowers because the endowers take 2 days to transact. So 2 days, unlikely something happened. But recently, the transaction a bit more knee-jerking, so I have to go in quickly. Yeah? So I have to use cash, yes. All right, cool. So again, these are my social media following. The one that I ask everybody follow a lot is on YouTube. More people give a like, I appreciate it. More importantly, click subscribe and follow. Please subscribe or follow, one of them. Subscribe or follow, and follow us closely, and put an alert button there so that you know when I go live. Okay. Okay, I will. Oh, Kenny, good to see you. Okay. Let's take some questions now, shall we? Okay. Sorry, take off my specs so I see. Short-term with Russian-Ukraine war. Short-term with Russian-Ukraine war, is it going to drive commodity price higher? Whatever harm is done has already been done. I don't think it will go unless they start firing nuke at each other, that kind of thing. Then that's a different story. Okay. Is digital sales marketing more in demand compared to cybersecurity? I have a friend who want to change industry and go into tech. Both are quite high in demand. Digital sales and marketing a bit more broad-based. Most companies have this function right now. Cybersecurity is very niche. Okay. Okay. Questions? Which part of Europe economics? You talk about US only. Oh, what about Europe economies? Europe economies are because we are largely investing in stock market. The US stock market leads the whole world stock market. So I want to see the US stock market first. Europe economies will lag behind the US economy. Okay. So okay, what about a sustained high energy price? But energy prices are coming down. Okay, energy prices are coming down. So I don't think it has not sustained. So it's unlikely to sustain. Okay. QQQ, how far is the simple moving average? I don't know. I don't look at graphs. My friend's company keeps terminating Russian clients, do not want to do their business. What do you think? It's very difficult for me to get into this kind of geopolitics, but I think that Russia is not Putin. I think punishing Russian clients may backfire on yourself. Yes. USD, is it growing even stronger? The Fed rate hike is usually opposite. I think the US dollar will remain quite high for some time, okay, because they keep increase their interest rate. Does SBY do dividend? Yes, but it's very little. Remember, if you want capital appreciation, you got to forgo dividends. If you want dividends, you got to forgo capitalization. You can have both. Both don't come together. Mr. Lu, there is an underestimated risk, the re-election of Trump as president. His unpredictable behavior may herald in the war starting very own South China Sea. PM warned this as a war may ruin us all. Yeah, but first of all, I don't think Trump will get re-elected again. But even if Trump re-elected again, I the stock market actually rallied quite a lot during Trump time. Trump maybe what is Trump's biggest failure? Management of COVID. Okay, that was his biggest failure. But minus that, he's actually quite a good president in businesses and in scaring off all these enemies of US. So I actually think he's not from that perspective not a bad president, and he's basically sway like just kena at the wrong time. Okay, what for example, all of us will be good at certain things, right? And all of us will be bad at certain things. He's a powerful negotiator, powerful businessman. So in business aspect, I actually think it's quite good for him. I don't think he knows how to manage a COVID outbreak, and to be frank, a lot of world leaders also don't know. So he caused, in that sense, he's in that part of his weakness caused a lot of death, and as a result, lost the election. Mr. Lu, keep USD better or Euro better? I don't know how to speculate on currency, and I think it's very dangerous, so I'll avoid it. Is it time to buy EUD? What's EUD? Euro, is it? Euro dollar? Okay. I try to avoid currency. Wow, there's a lot of questions on YouTube. I didn't know. Okay, when do you think it's a good time to invest in growth stock? When you say growth stock, I don't know about specific growth stock, but Nasdaq I have been investing in. Any insights to your away ETF, the travel ETF? I didn't even monitor, so I don't know. When I buy something, I usually don't monitor. Let it just run. Go up and down. I don't think Chai Peng prices will fall. Okay, that's not important. Oh, Yen said first time attending your live chat. Okay, thank you. Okay, usually it's landscape mode, not portrait mode. Today I clicked the wrong button. Russian. Some tech companies like C and Tesla are cutting headcounts. Microsoft also slowing down hiring. What is the impact or telltale sign? It's good that some of this hiring they retrench some of these people or slow hiring, ease off the load. Not people, small company like us, small timers like us cannot hire any people. Okay, yes. A few of our MNC clients have pulled out of Russia. How will this affect the balance sheets of S&P company during this financial reporting? Will they miss target? Russia is not a big market, so I don't think it will impact that much. Okay. So we may potentially see a recovery of a broader stock market. But would a possible deflation or stagflation scenario painted cause the stock market to react after? I think all the bad news already been built in the stock market already. I actually think that the downside risk is little. That's my view. Okay. JPY has been so low. Okay. Why you buy SPY with expense ratio of 0.09 and not VOO and expense ratio of 0.03? What's the difference between 0.09 and 0.03? It's so little difference. Do you know what's the expense ratio of Endowers? I don't know, 0.6% or something like that. There's not much difference. Okay. Yes. JPY has been so low. Bank of China not doing anything. This spells trouble. No. Maya, are you Japanese? Okay, I'll just say this. I can understand. First of all, if you're Japanese, I'm sorry for the passing away of your ex-prime minister. I will just say this, that I understand why the Bank of Japan is doing this. They are trying to avoid a hard economic crash, right? They're caught between the devil and the blue sea. So they are really trying to hold what they can. They're trying to hold what they can to avoid an interest rate rise that will crash the economy. And the Japanese economy is already bad. Yes. What would Mr. Lu do if you have only one tranche? Invest now or wait until the next hike? Why would you have only one tranche? Okay. Yeah. Even let's say let's say you have $1,000, you can bring up to a few $100s and buy. You don't need to have one tranche. Okay. If you have one tranche, you should not be investing, which means you really don't have much money, and you should not be investing and don't have much money. Okay. You should be accumulating more cash, build up your safety net in your CPF first. I think that's the most important thing. Now, unless you're saying that one tranche is because one big amount and you only want to throw in one time, that's a different story. Okay. You were saying that if the Federal Reserve minutes, Federal Reserve meeting on the 26th and 27th were to raise rates by 0.75, will market really absorb the news and nothing much will happen? Yeah, I don't think anything much will happen. Okay, but I don't know. It's market is hard to predict. I don't think so. Any insight to Singapore property market? Property market is holding up quite well. I'm surprised that it's holding well, but so I don't think as much will happen there. Okay. Need to buy a house, but also want to meddle SPY cost trend down. A house is a basic need of a human, so you got to settle that first. Okay. Will China open up and create massive demand? That is what I'm very scared of. I don't think that will happen so fast. Your face is brightening up right now. Can see improvement. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a result of a lot of reject goods from BE. Very expensive reject goods. Okay. In the dilemma, what does Kiwi say? No, I think a house must come first. Okay. Yeah, you cannot invest in money that you want to allocate for your house, right? Then your investment, you'll get very jittery. Not sure how the digital marketing can help my career. It seems nothing related. You must do something you're passionate about. Yeah, you got to go and figure out whether you want the thing or not. Don't do something because everybody is doing it, okay? Is it a good time to buy Singapore bonds? Singapore bonds is quite a good time to buy. The SSE bonds, the interest rate is quite high right now. Yes, I also think so. Any insight on China? Will they rebound anytime soon? I think the China stock market already rebounded. The problem with China stock market is unpredictable. So for me, I don't touch. Okay, things that I cannot understand, I cannot predict. I don't understand how you go. I don't touch. Why is that? So I can sleep a bit better and avoid all the risks. More likes on YouTube, please. Okay. Good time to invest in REIT because the interest cost is very high right now. Okay. Yes, because the interest cost is high right now. Some of the REIT have high borrowing costs. They have to pay high interest. And people now will switch out of REIT to go into safer bonds or interest or banks. Therefore, REIT prices will be under pressure. Federal Reserve meeting hike. What is your feel on how many basis point increase? Maya, I think they will be looking at 0.75 as what I said just now. Okay, they already said it. 10 out of 11. What price did I enter last week? Take a look at my screenshot. The price is there. Okay, Zilwan. Okay, I actually very open. Okay, from last market cycle 2008, bond prices dropped followed by stock market drop. Commodity prices drop, and after which the stock market crashed. Now commodity prices drop. Does it mean that major stock market crash is coming? I think the market then was different. This time the stock market fall is driven by an inflation risk. So I think the situation is very much different from 2008. Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Yes. You're welcome, Su Chun. Okay. Good game. Yes. 75 basis point. I'm pretty sure. Okay. If it increased by 0.75, I think boring. Use OA to transfer money to SA or use OA to pay for housing loan, then top up SA with cash. Is there a difference? Okay, wait, let me see. Use OA to transfer money to SA or use OA to pay for cash. Oh, I try not to touch my cash right now. Cash is very powerful. I like to move OA to SA right now. If I were you, I'll do that because cash has a lot of alternative and cash has very, very good use in a time like this. Is it a good time to buy bank stocks? I don't like big stocks. So I only buy indices. Okay, you're asking the wrong person. Okay. Are you still watching COVID? Someone I knew got COVID on Wednesday and had very bad symptoms, except for difficulty in breathing. I'm watching. The COVID outbreak with at the corner of my eye. The B4, B5 variant is a lot more lethal than the B1, B2 Omicron variant. So far, and my father right now just kena, so I'm watching how he's doing. He's 84, so I'm a bit concerned. I call him almost every day to find out how is he. But so far, our vaccination is working. But it does cause a bit of concern. Okay, so unless some new one come in, I think new variant come in that's more lethal, I think that'll be serious. Should we keep more dry powder or should we be more aggressive? I cannot tell you what you should do, okay, Alvin. I'm already doing what I'm doing. Okay, I cannot say more than that really. Okay. Experts say market will come down 20% more. I've also experts say that market will go up 20%. Who you want to believe? Okay, so any good portfolio management courses to enroll? I studied economics. I studied portfolio management. I don't think it's very helpful at all. Yes. You advocate not to use cash to top up CPF. Yes, I try not to do that. Don't get me wrong. If your cash is there sitting doing nothing, yeah, just top it up. I think it's very good. I encourage topping up my kids' CPF using cash. That I encourage. Okay, but if I can, priority goes all the way to SA first. When do you think we can get out of pandemic? We are out of the pandemic already, lah. Okay, we are out of the pandemic already. Yeah. I've been living in Europe. Nobody gives a shit about pandemic anymore. I go around no mask one, completely no mask. Okay, more or less. But we do get hit now and then. Okay, when do you think? Sorry, I guess it's okay. Any other questions? Okay. Okay. If nothing, okay, recession likely. Yes, but this recession, if happens, will be good. Cool down the market a bit. Okay. Here in SG, almost someone I know got COVID. Yeah. I think it's very widespread already. Okay. The question is whether you cannot twice right now. How do you choose between SPY and QQQ? So between NASDAQ and S&P 500, I like to use the ratio of 3:1. That's me. Okay. So for every $1 invest in NASDAQ, $3 will be in SPY, because the NASDAQ fluctuation is very, very high. If you are a single, would you buy a 2-room single or 4-room resale? Wow, according to your needs. Okay, there's no right or wrong. According to your needs. Okay. Yes. All right. Cool. Thank you. Okay. It's finally get to watch live. Oh, great. Okay. Okay. Oh, Pauline, you have not got it. You damn hang. Okay. I can probably say that it's not a matter of will or will not. It's a matter of when. Okay. What's my view on Tesla? High risk stock. I'll try not to touch it. Okay. By buying S&P 500 and NASDAQ, you already have touched it. Were you able to share how BE set up a business? I also want to sell clothes on Shopee. That one is a bit more complicated. When I share on this channel, nobody's interested, so I won't share on this channel. Okay. Which aspect do you refer to in recession cooling down? When I say that means that the inflation, when I say cooling down means the inflation comes down. That's what I want to see. Will you get immunity after you kena COVID? When we had Omicron, when we had an Omicron outbreak, it provides immunity for the Delta. But unfortunately, right now, it doesn't seem that we get immunity from infection. Right now there is this B1 and B2 variant, which I think more or less died. Now it's B4, B5 that's coming up. This B4, B5 you kena this B1, B2 does not provide you immunity. This I know of people who kena this one, also kena this one. Okay. Yes, I think I missed some questions. What's the difference between SPY and SPX? Actually, I don't know the difference. Okay, I only buy SPY. Oh well, shucks. Okay. Chiwi said, I head up digital marketing for an agency and hiring is a pain for the past year. It's an employee's market and many ask for a ridiculous salary. Exactly. I'm down to asking for fresh graduate and all these kind of people. Only one applicant. Okay, one. So much. Yeah, so much for recessions, Miss Sai. Okay. Okay. Should we use OA to buy SPY trend hours or OA to top up SA? I always encourage people to form their financial safety net first. Build up your full financial safety net. That means fill up your FRS first. Then you dabble with your stock market. Okay. Are you still on fasting, intermittent fasting? Not really anymore. Okay, not really anymore. How do you escape anxiety feeling when you already have 10,000 paper loss? I have millions of dollars lost. I also don't have anxiety feeling. Okay. Yes. And that is why I can tell you, you need to build the financial safety net first. So even if you lose a lot of money, you know that you're still okay. That's why I keep stressing that it's very important. Well, there's some people. What's your Lamy and SK2 product mix? You mentioned these two brands be used. Asking to buy for my wife. I don't know leh. Okay, this one, Ryan, you can write the email to me, luchengchuan@gmail.com. I will try to ask you. Have you encountered emotion anxiety before an investment? In the past, when my financial safety net is not there, yes, I do. Nowadays, not much. Okay, no feeling. Yes. Job number, okay. Prefer you share your live screen horizontally so that we can see a larger screen and read the charts. I'm sorry, today I clicked the wrong button. It turned out like that. Okay, I'll try undo it last time. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Okay, play only with extra money. Okay, all right, good. Okay, I hope you find today's sharing useful. This is predicting what I see in the stock market, and I think this one will help you to do some analysis for yourself. Mr. Lu, what is the compound interest we're looking at when investing S&P 500? There's no interest, but the compound growth rate we're looking at, over a 30-year time horizon. That means ignoring the up, down, down. I think we can look at a 8 to 10% return. That's historical. CPF financial safety and meeting financial CPF sum. Ziluan, yes. My financial safety net refers to my 1M65 whole strategy. You can watch some of my YouTube video. This one I see until face turn blue already. Build up and fill up your full retirement sum in your SA and your Medisave account and let it compound. Okay. Yes. Okay. Is B's throat better? Slightly better only. In fact, she's sleeping now. Okay. She's not feeling quite well. Okay. Don't know whether. Okay. Let's see whether. Yeah. So are you buying S&P 500 any moment? I just announced. I just did. Yeah, I just did. Okay. I'm going to buy some more. Okay. Yes. Thanks for being frank and generous. Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Good. Okay. All right. Great. Okay. With this. Okay. Thank you. Yes. I do have my, he said many have their own agenda. I don't have agenda. My agenda is make sure everybody knows. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wish your dad speedy recovery. Thank you, Luis. Thank you. Yeah. Also, I'll give him a call right after this one. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. With this, thanks and have a wonderful night, everybody. And hope that my sharing was useful for everyone. Have a great weekend. Okay. Yes. Which platform do you use and buy S&P 500? I use Standard Charter, which is a very expensive